Welcome back to That Leslie Sound.
Today we're going to add a new pedal to the series.
Today, That Leslie Sound is being brought to you by the new JHS Rotary Chorus pedal. But before we get into the pedal, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with great people in the industry. And in this case, we went right to JHS. We saw they released 3 new from their series here, and it was the oil can delay and the analog delay and the rotary chorus. And immediately the beard got the keyboard out and went, said, hey, remember us?
Because which one would we be interested in?
Right. So we went for the rotary chorus, and here it is.
Yeah, and that's not the first time we've talked to Josh about things. He's been helpful in several of the series, the Electra series.
Right.
And definitely the first time I think we ever talked to him was for this series here. So we could have went to Zzounds, but I saw Zzounds shipping date, and I was like, well, I'd like to get one in before they're really shipping them out or whatever. And we're about right. And so they helped us do that. That first interaction with Josh was to debunk. I think I was calling to talk to him about, or I contacted him to talk to him about the Leslie series. I can't remember exactly what, and also like how the Univibe was involved in that. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, it wasn't. You know?
Right.
You know, and did a little cameo for this short video we have on the history of the Univibe. And if you haven't seen that, put a card in. It's pretty cool. So anyway, jumping into this. Every time we do a Leslie pedal, normally it's first thing in the video. We're changing up just a little bit tonight, but I grabbed this 1960 anniversary American Strat, and I play the same thing every time. So you can go through the whole series, every Leslie pedal, and compare them. And so here's the little Leslie ditty.
All right, so for my first playing of the pedal, I grabbed the Supro Hampton, which has been on probably every Leslie Sound video, and I took the star of the show for a ride. Shockingly enough, no Echo Tour, but into the Tyler JT22, and I played this little beboppy thing that I've done quite a bit, and then manually manipulated the speed.
So we've reached the part in the video where we're going to turn some knobs. We haven't really gone over the controls yet, so we're going to do that now. What's nice about this pedal, we like pedals that are simple.
Right.
This one is simple. You have 3 knobs. You have a volume, an intensity, and a speed, and then you have a room switch. And we're going to go over all that real quick. I think we're going to start with the intensity. And we got it all the way down. We'll let Pat play a little bit, and we'll just kind of roll that around real quick so you can kind of hear the range of that. And we got the... No, I'm sorry. We'll start with the speed. We have the intensity up pretty good.
Okay.
So let's leave the intensity up fairly high, or the speed up fairly high. And we'll do the same thing with the intensity. Real quick.
All right.
Beautiful.
That's right.
All right. So I think on one of the JHS clips they had on like Instagram or somewhere, they talked about this pedal real quick, and they gave a tip. And their tip was, if you have the speed high, have the intensity low, and if you have the speed low, have the intensity high. So I think it'd be kind of interesting just to show you real quick. Like what I found, if I have one of my clips, and it's probably not going to be perfect, but almost them looking at each other, if you will, right? So I've turned the speed way down and intensity pretty high, and it's a better sound than what we just had. If you want to just give it a strum or two. And so you would think, oh, I'll just speed it up and I'll turn this up. But if we back that intensity down, you might need to dial it in a little bit more. But that tip I thought was pretty good. So we didn't talk about the room switch, and we're plugged in the dialer right now. We have, it took an act of Congress here, but we were able to turn the echo tone off for a little bit. So the reverb's on in the dialer. We figure, well, people complain about that. Maybe. So we did hook up the Fender too. All I have to do is reach down and hit an 8-beat box switch over the Fender. Fortunately, it's on the far side of the pedal board. Because that made sense.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think we could leave it there. Okay. So right now we're in no room on. Cool. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the final thoughts. It's almost like it's a real short reverb.
Right.
Almost like a slapback echo or something, but not quite. Talk about that more. Maybe when we get in the final thoughts. And then the last thing is the volume knob, and we haven't really changed that. If you have it all the way down, it's off, and then you get any level, get a boost as you turn it up.
Right.
But as you know, this is not, maybe it's misnamed. It's not just the Rotary Chorus. It could be the Rotary Chorus / boost pedal because, and John, they've been pushing this lately, but it is a cool way to look at things. If you turn the chorus off, or the intensity and the speed both off, and crank the volume, you got a boost pedal. So one of the clips we did tonight, Pat was using Lightspeed, and at the end of it, I was like, hey, let's just try that real quick. Left the Lightspeed on and set up the JHS as a boost after.
Right.
So it's gonna
more.
Yeah, it's gonna give you some more. Here's what that clip sounds like. So for this next clip, I kind of wanted to explore the rotary chorus in a way that maybe I would use it and use it live. To do that, a lot of times I like to have a little gain on them to get them that sizzle that you would hear like a real Leslie. Tonight I grabbed the Plus from David Barber in 5-Watt World. Pretty interesting pedal. Turn the gain down low enough but high enough that it still gave it a little sizzle when the volume on the guitar was all the way up. I actually boosted the highs on it and took out some of the lows, the low setting on the low. Dave does these EQ. Go watch the video. All right, enough on that. So plug that in, grab my McCarty. It's like 2000 McCarty. And so I'm just playing 3 chords over and over. I use these a lot in the videos because it's, you have to have that thing that you go to see if it sounds the way you want it to sound. Right. So started in the neck, had the volume down a good bit so it would clean up, and then switch it to the bridge and rolled the volume up so you get a little dirtier, get that sizzle to it. And I think maybe went back to the neck and rolled it back down again. I did change the speeds too. So I started with it fast and slowed it down, and which meant I had to lean forward and turn knobs and flip switches. And so it's not perfect.
So I wanted to try a clip with drive, and you kind of got a prequel to it when you saw us use it as a boost, because I'm using the Greer Lightspeed, I'm using the star of the show, and thank the Lord I'm using the Echo Tour. First time I turned the delay on, went up and I had grabbed the DGT SE with Porter pickups in it. And as we were playing, the Beard pointed out like, hey, play it in the neck a little bit. It's kind of airy, spacey, and then flip it to the bridge and you can hear how much more it pushes everything. So you'll hear that in this clip and how the pedal reacts to it.
That is the 3 Series JHS Rotary Chorus pedal. That's all the clips we have for you tonight. Final thoughts.
Good. Again, I was joking, do a montage. I liked it. Yes. I did like it. Because it's simple to get a good Leslie sound out of it. I even goofed around a little bit off camera and thought, well, it's a chorus too, and you can get the chorus out of it. And we proved you can use it as a boost. So it is kind of a bit of an accidental utility pedal, perhaps. But I thought it sounded good. The jury's still out for me as far as the room switch goes. It sounded a little sterile, but I understand the concept. If you're playing through an amp with no reverb or whatever, it does add a little spaciousness to it. But I don't know. I think I liked it off personally from the things I was playing. But I like the pedal. I like the way it sounded, ease of use. Couple tips that we gleaned that we passed on to you as far as intensity and speed, how they work with each other. I liked it. It's $99. I mean, everything they put out in this series so far that we've played has been great.
Oh yeah, they've all been good. Like there's been a few that have been really, really good. I'm going to start with, it's $99 and maybe that's not a big deal. But if you go through the Rotary series, go through all the videos in the series and look up, even some of the used pedals are pretty expensive. Like it's not, I joke with Pat that, we've been doing the channel long enough. If you go back and look at some of the early Rotary, that's kind of in the beginning of the channel. Things have changed. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're getting better at it. I mean,
hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, in other words, I'd like to go back and do them all again. I said that to my wife the other day. She's like, well, why don't you? I'm like, because I don't have the funds to try and repurchase all those pedals.
Right, because we did flip some. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, 99 is a great price point. We have a whole video out on like 10 ways to get it Leslie sound with video pedals you already have.
Right.
That takes care of that problem. For me, I'm feeling different about the room switch. I said to Pat, I looked at this for like 5 minutes last night. I said to him, I don't get the room switch. Why would they have put that? They could have put a little like drive thing there to give it that little, like a little preset kind of drive thing for some of that Leslie drive, which is different than overdrive. But then after recording all my clips tonight and realizing, because it says room down here at the bottom. So I thought if you pushed it down, you were in the room setting. Not so much.
Nope. It's just telling you that's the room switch.
Yeah. If you push it up, you're in the room setting. And apparently I did all my clips with the room setting on. And so even though there was reverb on the amp, I don't think I had the DLS on, but there was reverb on the amp. I kind of like it better with it up. Mm-hmm. Even with like reverb already there. So I don't know what the intention. I don't know if the intention is like, oh, you don't have any reverb, so turning this up takes care of that. Mm-hmm. Or if the intention's more like just to make it a little more on top of what you already have. So a little more something. Somebody has a better word for that than I do. So I don't know. I kind of liked it up, to each his own. Pat liked it down, but he also liked the Echo Touron. So.
Right. But not to lengthen this, but we've done other pedals that had sort of a mimicked mic placement. Yeah. So this might be a close mic. It could. I know that gives more of the Doppler, but like it could be,
or maybe a little farther away,
right,
so it gets.
Right. Yeah, I had that part backwards, but yeah.
Yeah. So there was that. So I think if you go back and look at the clips, you should be able to see where that is. But I think both of my clips it's up, and both of your clips it's down. Again, that rolling the intensity back as you put the speed up seems to work really well. I was actually kind of surprised on how the boost feature worked. Mm-hmm. Like it really did sound good. So, and we had it after Lightspeed, and you might ask, well, why would you do it why would you do a boost after? Because that brings it up. What's it do if you put it in front? But for me, I would run a rotary pedal, I think, later in my chain, after my drives and stuff. That way, if I want to push them, I can, or even in an effects loop. So, Rotary Chorus from JHS Pedals. Thanks for watching. If you click the subscribe button, hit notification bell, click on the like button, any of those things, anytime you interact with the channel, that's what helps us interact with cool people. In this case, JHS. And also, often if we didn't get it from them, we would have got it from Zzounds. So we're going to throw that affiliate link for Zzounds down there too, because they've been such a big help to the channel. So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of The Beard, reminding no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.